I would like to share with you my brand new hobby that I started this morning, and it is gardening. Gardening is really cool. I'm gonna show you how it works. I have here a bucket filled with very small pieces of this planet we live on and seeds. What's this? Let's make beautiful flowers. I'm gonna dig them in a bit, like this. Okay, make it level again. A bit of lubrication. Come on! Doesn't work. Right. I had my dose back to machining. Gardening, what a stupid idea. Let's talk a bit drill press. Years ago, a good friend of mine, he gave me this machine. And for me, for what I do, it's the perfect size machine. There's just one little thing I would like to fix. Let me show you. If I have to make small parts and I have to drill a hole in it, of course I can not hold the part in hand for drilling, so I use the little vise. After center drilling, you see here the little dimple. When you use bigger drill bits like this, or even a bit more bigger, the drill will self-center. Of course, if you use very small drill bits, it will not self-center. It's the drill that's gonna bend. I think that's not a good idea. So, what I can do is bolt this little vise down on the table and then loosen it here. So I can choose the position where I'm gonna drill. The ideal is, of course, that I can move left and right. Now this machine can, so I can find exactly the spot I want where I want to drill. There's just one little problem. Every time I want to move the table, I will take it off, we'll see better. You see, it's moving up and down. So what I would like to make is a clamping system, so I can loosen this one, move left and right, and the clamp system will hold it in place to get the right height every time. Because now if I move left and right, I can't use the depth stop, of course. So let's do something about it. My idea is to make something like this. You see, sometimes I have a plan. The diameter of the column is 59.5 millimeters. I like these round numbers, 59.5, why not 60? Well, 59.5. So, if I make 2 half rounds that I can clamp together with bolts, the whole thing can clamp and the arm can pivot on this surface. I have here a very nice piece of flat. I'm gonna shape it in shape and then put the parts together with a 1 millimeter shim, a 5 amps millimeter seam between two so they can clamp together when finished. In many of my videos you see pop up these things, and I don't think I ever talked about them. When I bought this shaper, these two things, I have two of them, were mounted here on the table. And I thought, what do you want me to do with that? And in fact, these things are really handy. You can mount them this way, and then square them up, mount them that way in whatever slot you want. Sometimes I use them as parallels. When I take the other one and I put bolts in here, these threaded holes, I can use them as a two-part vice system. Sometimes when you have to make a part where bolts sticking out, or a bolt like a part like this one, you can mount it directly on the table. So you use this as a spacer, and then it works really handy. I think that's a very nice Sunday afternoon project. Make a couple of things. I have no idea how to call it, but for me, things. Right, let's and this time I didn't even forget to put first my T-clamps. Just like that. Okay. Right, let's go for it. Oops. It was this one that holds the ram in place. You see the position of the ram that was not well tied. So I'm going to do that again. Okay. I'm gonna change the setup because I think there's too much friction with this extended tool holder. I'm gonna put the tool directly in this tool holder, and to do that I need to move this clamp a little bit. I'm gonna put it in the middle. I will bring you back when it's done. Take two. Yeah, makes a big difference. That's good. Everything went well, so I turned the camera off to bring you back after the cut was finished. That was the plan. But while turning the camera off, I gave a little bit too much feed in the depth of cut, and this is the result. So the other part of my cutting tool is here. Oh, I can take it out, I think. Yep, here it is. So one man down. It also pushed the whole thing out of square. You see, maybe the fence here, everything is out of square. There was a little change of plans. I just cut these parts out with the angle grinder. I didn't take the time yet to make a new grooving tool, but maybe one day I will when I grow. Now I'm roughing out the shape. These parts are 60 millimeters and I bring them down to 50. I have here a little line to help me to see roughly where I go. You see, sometimes I am organized. These two surfaces are now finished. I brought this dimension to size. So all I have to do, that's why I installed the swivel base, is turn it 90 degrees and I can work this surface. Put the clapper box in the right direction, change tool, no problem. Well, there is a problem. This machine doesn't have an automatic down feed, so I have to cut this by hand. And I don't feel like doing that. So I'm gonna come up with a other setup. Some time ago I made this 180 degree angle plate. So now I'm gonna use it. If I mount my plate right here, put my workpieces square with the table, they are square that way, I'm gonna square them this way, I can cut these two surfaces in one time with the power feed. It was a good idea to use the angle plate, it makes it a lot easier. I also installed a little block that push against the workpiece to prevent it from twisting. You never know. Let's take some measurements with my dead mic. Well, that looks good for an amateur, not bad. Now I think it's always a good idea to try to hit the numbers, even on non-critical surfaces and distance like this one. Is absolutely not important, but the day you really need it, you're used to it. So, not important, go for it, try to hit the numbers. That's my little advice. Now, I suppose this is again a typical rusty setup, but it worked. I suppose that's the point. Right, let's drill some holes in these things. It's a bit funny, the idea to use the drill press to fix the drill press. Let's go for it. I still haven't invested in new metric 10 tabs. One day maybe. All the parts are ready for assembly. So my two parts, the studs, washers, nuts and the sheet metal shim. But before I do that, I would like to show you a little trick my grandfather told me when I was, I think, 14. You can see clearly that it's not a round hole. The drill is always wobbling a bit and make this weird triangular shape. And you see the results are much better. Now I have no idea why it works, but it works, and I hope someone someday can explain me why, because I myself do not understand. A question could be, why did I put a shim over the whole length and not just two little washes between? Let me explain. The center point is in the middle of the two parts, which means there's a gap between them, and the center point is also between them. But I need the center point to center my part in the forejaw. So that's one reason. Another reason is, if the parts are separated for, I say, 1 millimeter or a bit more, the drill bit is not gonna be very happy. And if I bore it out, it's gonna be an interrupted cut. My boring bar is not gonna be happy either. So with the shim it will still be an interrupted cut, but it's gonna be a bit better. A few years ago I made a similar part as this, and I didn't want to lose all the material inside, so I did it with trepanning. Trepanning? I don't know, I suppose you know what I mean. That's not a good idea on this kind of assemblies, because I was cutting, everything went well until the end. One of the two half moons shifted a bit, broke my tool bit, and shifted also the tool post, and what was left of the tool bit ruined my part, so I had to do it all again. So this thing, boring out, not trepanning, it's not gonna work. The last couple of weeks some videos popped up from other YouTubers, and they show us how they link the headstock to the carriage so they can drill holes on the power feet. I saw some very creative solutions. Now I would like to show you not how to do it, but how I do it. As you can see, I left a little gap here between the carriage and the tailstock, and in that gap I'm gonna put a little piece of a door. Yes, a door. And that's gonna prevent the whole thing from lifting. Oh, fell too deep. Like this. And then take my made in Germany clamp. See, it's marked here. And that's all there is. And we're through. Any questions? 1/10 over. That's good. It doesn't look too bad. Of course, I couldn't do this without any collateral damage. Let's take it out and see if it fits. Yep. To be good, I should make some kind of knob so I can tighten and untighten to regulate the height of the thing. But I'm not gonna do that because I have one. Yes, it works. Of course, a build video is never complete without the test. I fixed my little vise with T-nuts here on this drill press table. I have 2 center points here, so let's give it a try. The rattling noise you hear is not end play in the spindle. I think it's the key in the keyway that has some play. So that's a to-do project. Let's go for it. Yeah, looks good. The other one. Right, that seems to work. This week I also received stickers from Aaron and from Billy. Now, if you want to see some content from people who really knows what they're talking about, check out these guys. They're fantastic. Now, I also received, that's a few weeks ago, this one. To me, this one is really special. An old friend of mine sent me this, and it is the logo of the club where we spent our youth learning to smoke cigarettes and chasing the girls and get drunk. Oh, but don't worry, we also did some very interesting cultural activities like and well, we did. Now let me show you again a little trick. Several times I see YouTubers having a hard time putting the stickers on their sticker board to put them right and straight, and sometimes you see the sticker screw up. Now, what I do, I take my square, this one I put square. Here, my square is too short, so I want this one here. So I take my level, I make an almost invisible line with a pencil, and then I peel off the sticker just a little bit and I fold it. That's all. And then you can line up like this, glue it on. Here you go, nice and straight.